Hello again, welcome to the MasterCAM course. In that lecture, just remember that we are creating that kind of toolpath. Okay, I created face toolpath, contour toolpath, and also area roughing. And after that, we can also create our waterline toolpath is here. And then we can also create that kind of scallop toolpath. And then we can also create our hybrid toolpath. Okay, let me delete and scallop and hybrid toolpath. Okay, and then let me turn here. This is actually waterline toolpath. So as you remember that we are creating that toolpath, and then we can also select that and actually and the boundary. I'm gonna delete this one, and then we just need to add new boundary like this. And then after that we can also see our tool like this one. And when we turn to the model geometry, we can also see our roughing and semi-roughing process here, 0.3 millimeter. I just need to make them 0 to 0, and then we can recalculate our toolpath. And after the calculation, we're gonna see that kind of toolpath. Okay, everything seems fine. So when we turn to our waterline parameters, actually with the cut parameters, at that point I also would like to emphasize that we should add cuts. So if I am moving on 1 millimeter, so it means that we're gonna reduce our step down with 0.1 millimeter. Okay, and after that, let me recalculate my toolpath again. Oops, sorry. And it is calculated like this one. You can also see the add parameters here. Because of this part actually that's not actually so good for us to add some, and add cuts options is not so good for us. Okay, let me turn to the 0.4 millimeter here, and then we can recalculate our toolpath. And then it is calculated right now. So that's kind of toolpath you're gonna see for actually waterline toolpath. And after that, maybe we should also create some scallop toolpath. And it's also possible to organize our scallop toolpath for this area maybe. And we can also change that stuff. Okay, let me turn to here. This is the top view actually. And yeah, I think that's enough. So yeah, I think that's enough for our process. You're gonna also see some waterline toolpath is enough for us. After that, after the roughing process, maybe we should be able to focus on this body and can be recalculated maybe. Okay, so let me create my scallop toolpath here and high speed toolpath, and then equal scallop toolpath. And then according to this perspective, I can use select all entities options. So I'm gonna select all that model, and then we can also make them 0. And then I can turn to do here to organize my boundary, and then we can select our tool. My tool can be like this, and then when we turn to here, I can prefer to use actually as a cut type. We can select one way. If the open contour direction, we prefer to use the zigzag method. we can also use the clockwise spiral options. And then this step over is enough for us. And then we can turn to the linking parameters and then make them 5 mm. And then I'm going to calculate my scallop toolpath. Okay, it is calculated like this. You're going to see that toolpaths here actually, and you can also create a different approach here. Let me turn to my 2D with that distance, and then we can turn to the curve all edges options, and then selecting this face, and then we're gonna create actually that's kind of and boundary, and then actually let me turn here. We can turn to the single, and then we can delete this one, and this one, and then we can delete all of them. And then let me turn here, and then actually we're gonna create that kind of boundary. And after that, let me turn to the parameters, toolpath control, and we can delete this boundary and add this boundary here. And then my toolpath is going to be calculated like this. Yeah, it is calculated right now. So we're going to see that's kind of scallop solution. Okay, and let me check my toolpath. Actually, we're going to start from here, and then we're going to reach here. Actually, we don't need to use that kind of reduce and the tool here, and and when we consider that reduce, actually it can be necessary for us. So, and maybe we can use the different tool reduce here, and then we can create another operation for actually and this intersection face. For example, I can make them 10. Okay, and then this is going to be my step over can be 0.25 millimeter. Okay, and then yeah, anyway, I just need the heat. We can also prefer to use smoothing options here, and let me recalculate my toolpath. And after that, we can also create another toolpath for according to that's reduce actually. And according to that's perspective, actually, we're gonna see that's kind of toolpath here. So if it is and it is also possible to use the contour offset position and to also organize and that reduce. So we are working on the 2D, and that distance I can turn to the actually transform, and then I prefer to use the chain transform. We can select this one and hit the OK button, and then we can select our distance, and according to my perspective actually it can be maybe 4 millimeter with move options like this one. Oops, sorry. And then we can also turn to here and wireframe, curve on edge options, and we can also select this one. And according to this perspective, I can delete that line, and we can turn to the trim two entities and then select this one and this one. And we can also select this one and this one. And after that, we can turn to the parameters and toolpath control. We can make them unselect, and then we can select this one. And according to this perspective, we're gonna see our toolpath like this. And it is calculated, and then you're gonna see that's kind of solution. Okay, that one is better than the previous one, I think. Okay, it's fine. And of course, end of our section, we also need to create that radius to be able to understand my radius distance. Oops, sorry. We can turn to the 3D, and then I'm gonna create some curve here, and then let me analyze that line. This is the NURBS line, I think, so we cannot create any arc here. So to be able to create arc, I can turn to the dynamic point here, and we can select this line and create some. To be able to create some point, actually, we can focus our arc like this. After that, we can turn to here, and then we can create circle edge points, and we can hit the 3-point options, and this one, and this one, and this one can be selected. And after that, we can turn to the analyze. And then that's it. We can prefer and 6mm diameter tool for our actually process. Okay, 6mm is enough for our process. So to be able to handle actually that stuff, I'm gonna turn to here. So we can easily create another and the boundary here. Let me turn to the here with the 2D, and then we can easily create our boundary starting from here. And this one, this is this one, and this one. And then let me turn here, here, and here. Okay, it's done. And after that, we can turn to here and mill toolpath and 3D high-speed toolpath and equal scallop can be selected. And as a machining surface, we can select all the face here and with the 0, of course. And then we can turn to the toolpath control, and we can select this one and this one as a contour toolpath. So yeah, we can see there's some problem here, and let me cancel it. And anyway, let's calculate our toolpath, and then I need to change my boundary. That is the worst part actually while you are creating your Scallop toolpath actually. So yeah, that's not okay. So let me turn to here to create my boundary, and then let me turn to the parameters here, and then we need to select our boundary. So yeah, we need to wait to calculation. Yeah, it is calculated, but this is the waste of time. So I'm gonna turn to here to organize my tool control, and this is the boundary 1, and this is the boundary 2. Okay, you can also see there's some problem here, but anyway, I'm gonna click here, and then let me create my tool. My tool can be 6mm ball nose, actually create new tool and ball nose with 6mm here, and then that can be 0.1mm or 15mm scallop, And then let me recalculate my toolpath. Yeah, that's it. It is calculated. Let me check here. You're gonna see that that's kind of solution. So at that point, actually, we can also use the check surface here. So I'm gonna turn to here and model geometry, and then we can activate our check surface. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one can be our check surface. Okay, and then let me hit here and we calculate my toolpath. Yeah, it is calculated. You're gonna see that that's kind of toolpath. Okay, maybe we should also change our and actually drive surface. Okay, and let me delete all of them, and we can add new one actually. Okay, let me cancel it. We can turn to here and we can select entities options. Okay, and then we can turn to here to select our toolpath. And after that process, we can also see that we are creating our toolpath and we're gonna get that kind of toolpath actually. And after that, if you would like to use, you can also select the mill toolpath and finish toolpath and the pencil toolpath. When we click the pencil toolpath, we're gonna select all the faces here. And after that, we can select our boundary like this one. And then after that, we can prefer to use 6mm ball nose tool actually with my feed rate and with my cutting speed. And after that, I can write my retract and fit plane as incremental and 0. When we turn to the finish pencil parameters, we can organize our tolerance. We can activate the line arc and smoothing settings, or you can only activate smoothing settings. And then you can organize your total tolerance and then activate number of per site. And then I can write here as a 3 and number of sites, and then as a step over we can use 0.1mm. Okay, and after that we can reactive to that depth limit. We can organize actually and gap size and optimize cut order. And then as a method we can prefer to use the zigzag method, and then we can calculate our toolpath. Okay, it's done. You're gonna see that kind of toolpath is created. Okay, so maybe we should make them and 5 and with 0.15mm. And then we're gonna see the 5 toolpath here for our pencil toolpath. Okay, that's it.